refilming this video because I made mistakes and YouTube won't let me upload it as anything other than a short. Okay, I created a new method today. I've decided to call it C2E2OPIT because those are just the steps. Yep, there's a lot, but you know, it's fine. So, C stands for cross, but specifically cross -1. So, for example, on yellow, just do 3 cross edges instead of 4. Leave that out. Now then, what we're going to do from here is these two F2L pieces. That's what the 2 stands for. So 2 F2Ls. So do that, and then B2 and this. So you should know F2L. This is more of a walkthrough solve than a tutorial, but yeah, you can learn from this. Anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to do edge orientation from here. That's what E stands for. So if you know anything about Petrus, you should be able to do this. So if I just do that, you can see these two are misoriented from this angle. So if I just insert, and that's good. And then these two are misoriented from this angle. So if I do that, now when I hold it here, all edges are oriented. Okay, what I'm going to do here is 2, which stands for 2gen. Now, it's important that you don't insert this cross edge, you insert an edge from the top layer. So, for example, this white edge belongs in the top layer, but I'm just going to put it down there. Now then, another weird thing you're going to do about this method is when you're doing F2L, you're actually going to pair up the wrong corner with the edge. So, for example, this is meant to go here, but I've put it here. Same goes for that one. That's meant to go here, but I've decided to put it here. So these two need to be swapped at some point. Then, so now we've done C2E2. Then we do O, which is just OLL, and P, which is just PLL. Then we have IT. Now, IT stands for inverse T-perm. And how this is going to work is we're going to imagine that, because you see, when you do an R2, right, you now have a T-perm because these two can swap and these two can swap, which will then solve the cube by doing an R2 afterwards. Now then, when you do R2, you get to this position, and the first move of a T-perm is an R. So you can actually cancel into it, the T-perm. It's kind of similar to this case on 2x2 for the Ortega method. You just do a T-perm starting off with an R prime. Then you can do that. So in this case, we're going to do that. So start off with an R prime, and then just do a T-perm, do an R2, and then the AOF. So if I move this over a bit, as you can see, I've done a few solves with this method. Results aren't the best. The 14 was really lucky. I planned the first 2 steps in inspection, which is really nice. But yeah, I see no potential in this method, but it's definitely original. If anyone else has thought of this, that is insane. Anyway, yeah.